Welcome into another edition of the Holton Ahlers Show. On the other side of the break, former East Carolina offensive lineman. He was kind of the face of the program in the dark days, but also with some good days. Garrett McGhin joins us on the other side. Hope you enjoyed the show. If not, as always,
that's too damn bad. Holton Ahlers turns, and Holton will take off and run himself. He's at the 40-yard line. Holton Ahlers to the 30. Look at him go. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Pirates.
There's local politics, bud.
It's showtime!
Let's go. Gee, I heard you laughing in the intro. You like it?
Dude, that was sick. I love that. A little Old Dominion run over there.
Oh, yeah.
Just gonna throw that out
hey,
there. That
was back when I used to take off back in the day. They didn't let me once Donnie and Coach Houston came in. They didn't let me run as much. But freshman year, buddy, I was taking off on them boys.
You were skirting out of there. That game, the UNC game, boy, had some wheels. Like, all right, boy, got 240 running like that. All right, let's do it.
I don't know about 240. I was probably pushing 230 though.
I don't know.
Dude,
Tom was treating you pretty damn well.
Welcome into the show, dude. We've been talking about this for a while, so glad we got to make it work, dude. Give a life update. Obviously, you're with the Renegades. You got injured in preseason. Kind of give a life update for the people who haven't followed spring ball. Give a life update.
So for everybody out there, Garrett McGhin played at East Carolina. Was in the league for about 4 years, off and on P squads, got active when I was with the Panthers, kind of bounced all over the place, journeyman kind of style. I was with the Bills, Jags, Panthers, Giants, and then been doing the spring ball route. Was in the USFL with the New Jersey Generals. After that, went to the Giants. Fortunately, got bit by the injury bug out there too. Had a bad concussion. Ended up getting released. Came to the XFL last year. Was able to win the championship with the Renegades. And then after that, went to the Bills for a quick little cup of coffee. And then came back again to defend the championship and go out there and fall camp. And unfortunately, blew out my lateral meniscus. Had to get a full repair on that. So wasn't able to hit the field with Holton and some other ECU legends and Noah and Zay. So very unfortunate, but, it's not the end of my journey. That's by any means, still got a lot of football left to play. I feel like the longer my career has progressed, just the better and better I've got. My football IQ has increased. My skill set, I feel like, is just fine-tuned and, kind of still doing the same thing I did at East Carolina, playing all over the board, played all 5 positions in professional football. So just trying to keep the dream alive, really.
Dude, it's a freaking it's a marathon. I'm only in my first year really out. Like, I was a rookie last year. I'm just now getting out and hearing that. I'm like, shit, dude, I got a long ways to go.
So dude, how long does that rookie year feel? Like, you go from,
my gosh,
playing in a bowl game. You obviously did 2 Senior Bowls, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So you did that. I mean, right into draft prep, right into draft, right into rookie mini camp, right into training camp, season. I mean, that rookie year is the longest year of your professional career. So
shooting for me, I went season, NFL season, cut a bunch of times, signed a bunch of times. So now spring ball. So I still don't even feel like mine's ended yet. I feel like I'm still in the beginning of it.
Oh, dude, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. You rolled because you finished that season and then rolled right into spring ball.
Yeah. I mean, I was cut. I was home a good bit of the time during this season with on and off practice squad. Dude, you talked about being active. I remember, so it was with the Panthers. I remember when you were. Talk about that, because the emotions, for the people who don't know, like the emotions of being on the edge of being active and not like being activated. You can get activated the day of the game. So like this past year, the Seahawks were in Cincinnati, and like Gino was banged up and Drew was banged up. So like I warmed up with the team, and they were like, look, you might be before this, they were like, look, you might be activated on game day. You might not be able to let you know in the locker room before the game. That's not as simple as, like, for the people who don't know, like, that's not as simple as just like putting on your uniform. Like, if you go out there dressed, like, that is like 5 times the money you would make if you didn't dress. So like, talk about your experience with that. Like, was it stressful? Did you know prior, or was it like a last minute decision? Talk about that a little bit.
Dude, it's which your example is crazy. Like I couldn't imagine going all week and then them being like, "Hey, you might get active, you might not."
Yeah.
I bet your nerves were on 10. Like
Oh,
that's
it's
crazy.
wild.
But dude, my situation was nuts, man, because it was my rookie year and I started off the year in Buffalo. And a little background story: I started off the season in Buffalo. We have joint practices with Carolina. We play them in preseason, and I play that game and blow out my spring ligament in my foot, which those of you that don't know, it's the ligament that basically you like push off of on the bottom of your foot. And I tore that. So I literally got carted off the field against the Panthers, got hurt, whatever. I go home, do my rehab, all that type of stuff. I remember it like it was yesterday. I get cleared from my injury on a Thursday. That Sunday, I fly up to Carolina. Monday, I work out, signed a practice squad. I'm there for a week and a half. The middle of the next week, we have one of our guards, Greg Van Roten, who's, in year like 10 now. I just finished up with the Raiders, I believe. Great guy, great player. And he gets injured. And at that time I believe we only had 2 offensive linemen on P squad. It was me and then a tackle. And he gets injured and I'm at home and I get a phone call and they're like, "Hey, we need you to come up to the facility early tomorrow." And my first instinct is like, dude, I just got here. No way I'm going to get cut. I'm literally like, dude, I felt like I had a good week of practice. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting cut. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting cut. Like, what is happening? So I hang up with them. As soon as I hang up with them, my agent calls. He was like, "You excited?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I'm nervous. Are they about to cut me? He was like, "They didn't tell you?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Dude, they're putting you on active." I was like, "What?" Like, you talk about whirlwind of emotions. I'm over here thinking I'm about to get cut. Next thing you know, I'm on the active roster. I was like, what is happening right now? So then I go in the next day. They give me the whole spiel. Ron Rivera's there. He's like, "You've done everything we've asked you to do since you got here. You look great. We're going to put you on the active roster. You know what went down, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, let's go. Like,
Let's go.
At this point, I'm ready to run through a brick wall. Like, I've been admiring Ron Rivera from afar, especially playing in Carolina, like, the ties with ECU.
Oh, yeah. Being
right in the backyard of the Panthers. I was like, let's do it. Like, I'm ready. Whatever you need me to do, let's go. And it was crazy. I get active, and our first game is in Atlanta against Mercedes-Benz. And for those of the listeners that don't know, like, for the offensive line, when you're that active, like, 7th, 8th guy, like, you might not play offensive snaps, but you're doing field goal.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget, I go into that first special teams meeting, and they show field goal block. And they're like, "Garrett, you're going to be playing left guard." I'm like, okay. First clip is Grady Jarrett and 2 other defensive tackles on the left guard. I'm like, oh, we're going right to this. Let's time to buckle up. So I get in there, and I remember we score in the first quarter, and I go down there, and I'm like feeling jittery, like, let's go. Like, I had people in the stands, whatever. Like, one of my best friends was there. My mom was there, and I'm like, heck yeah. And I go to line up. Sure enough, they do the same thing. 3 guys right there. And I'm like, well, the mantra is to die a slow and painful death. And that's exactly what I did. And I took my step down, and I just went. That. I was like, welcome to the NFL. I was like, all right, now let's do it. And it was crazy. ECU legend Justin Hardy was on the other sideline, so I got to chat up with him after the game. It was really cool. And then
it's sick.
It was pretty sick. Man.
What QB? Sure. Yeah, what QBs were you with? Was Cam Newton there when you were there?
Yeah, so that was the year Cam Newton had his injury and stuff. So we had Kyle Allen playing. He was starting for us, and super good dude. Just so intelligent, man. Like, I remember being in our protection meetings and stuff like that, and he's up there just saying everything, the O-line stuff, and I'm like, normally, and this was college ball, it's like, all right, O-line kind of tells the quarterbacks what we got going on, and he's over there like, no, I want y'all to do this, this, and this, and we're like, sounds good, let's roll. And I just remember being like, all right, this dude's know what he's talking about. He was playing really well up to that point, and we had a kind of up and down year that year, but he was slinging the ball well. And, but that was a pretty cool story because, I'm in the locker room with Cam Newton. And one of my favorite stories about this is, like, anytime somebody asks me about, like, who's the best people you've ever met in the NFL, two of them were on that team. And it was Christian McCaffrey and Luke Kuechly. And
oh, yeah.
I'll never forget, like, when I signed, Carolina has, like, a separate – it's like the locker room, and then there's, like, a little – like hallway where you can get in like the normal tech booths and stuff like that. And I'm chilling in there waiting for paperwork and all that stuff to finish up. He walks over and introduced himself to me. He's like, "Hey, I'm Christian McCaffrey." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know who you are for sure." And then like Luke Kuechly was the same way. Introduced himself to me, gave me tips and was like complimenting me in practice, stuff like that. And I was like, these guys really are as seen on TV type dudes, like the most genuine, humble, hardworking cats that I've seen. And it was really cool when two of your best players are also two of the best human beings and the hardest workers in the room. So that was a pretty cool situation to walk into.
Yeah, dude, that's sick. I've heard that from I can't think, maybe Blake Prohl. I think was Ricky there when you were there, or was he done by then?
He wasn't there when I was there.
Yeah, I think it was his dad was telling me about them. Dude, I kind of experienced this a little bit last year. How was like at ECU, you were like the top dog, especially as like a fifth year as an older guy. And then you go to like be on a practice squad and you're like at the very bottom again, grinding, like undrafted, like grinding up. How was that process of like doing that? Like it sounds like you got in good situations to where like, they treated you well. And the NFL is such like, I told people on one of the previous episodes that like kind of once you get to the NFL, like people kind of treat you the same. The only difference is the guys who are making more money have more like
freedom.
If they mess up, they're going to have another chance as it. Whereas if you're an undrafted guy, like you got to grind and make opportunity of whatever opportunity you get. If you get one play, you better grind at it and make sure it's perfect. Like, how was your experience? Was it kind of the same, or did you have any different?
Dude, it was 100% the same. Like, honestly, like I would add another level to that. Like, I wasn't even like an undrafted signee. Like, I was a guy that, when draft day came and went, like my phone wasn't ringing. My agent's phone wasn't ringing. And so my story was I come out, don't get drafted, don't get an undrafted deal, and I get a rookie minicamp invite to the Colts. Go there, perform well, I thought, well enough to get signed for 3 days. Walk out the door, and that was it. Go home. Agent's like, "Hey, you got another rookie minicamp invite to Buffalo." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." So I had just had one under my belt, kind of go in, perform, and then I went home. So I go into this one, and I'm like, kind of know what to expect at this point. So I'm like, all right, let's go out there. And it was kind of like at that point in the Buffalo tryout, I was like, all right, let's go have fun. Let's go be me. Let's not worry about what's to come. Like, let's go, because this could very well be your last week of football. Let's go have fun with it. And I go out there first day, left tackle or right tackle, play well, perform well. The next day, he's like, "Hey, you play guard too, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do to make this team. Like, I'll go clean the balls if you need me to. Like, I'll do whatever I need to do." And he was like, "All right, today you're going to play right guard." And I'm like, "All right, sweet." Well, this is the year they draft Ed Oliver 9th overall. And, he was an American Conference product, played at Houston. So I played him a couple times, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to the listeners and say I was up there locking him up, but I was familiar with his game. I knew like what he liked to do, how to set him, that kind of deal like that. So I go out there and perform decently pretty well. And I'll never forget, we had a screen that we installed, and he was like, "Hey, if this guy travels with it, tells you in man, he's going to be the first one you kick out. Don't just go out to the alley and go for the safety. Like, if he travels with the motion, it tells you he's in man, get out flat, kick out." And we run that play. Sure enough, he travels in motion. I'm like, all right, kick out, screen hits for 20, 30 yards.
Let's go.
So I look back, offensive line coach, OG Bobby Johnson's going crazy. Our assistant line coach is like fired up. So now I'm feeling juiced. I'm like, let's go. You're doing something right. You're basically being who you are at this point. And I was like, all right, sweet. Third day comes. They're like, "Hey, you ever snap football?" I'm like, sure enough, did it in college. Like, let's roll. So I hope third day, go out there, snapping the football, have a good practice, and we all come up for the little breakdown. Bills on three. Thank you guys for coming out, blah, blah. Break it down. And I'm walking back, and I'm thinking, well, did all I could do. Nobody's like grabbing me or anything like that. So I'm like, all right. Next thing you know, hey Garrett, I turn around, it's Brandon B and the GM.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And we start talking about ECU and, the pros and all that type of stuff. And because he was with Ricky and knew Blake and all them. And I was like, yeah, chatting it up with them. He goes, so we're talking for like 2 or 3 minutes. He was like, oh, okay. And kind of pauses and he goes, hey, we're going to sign you, by the way. I was like, let's go. Heck yeah. I'm like fired up. So like I didn't even have, the luxury of like having to pick where I wanted to go or people wanted to go, like anything like that. I truly got it out the mud and I made, like you said, made the most of my opportunity. And then, I go into training camp and they're like, the offensive line coach, Bobby Johnson, believed in like versatility and like, how it is. Like you have guys that, Deion Dawkins is going to be your starting left tackle. Like he's playing left tackle. And then you have other guys that, Mitch Morse is going to be your starting center. He's going to play center. But for a lot of guys, it's like you're playing left guard one day, right guard the next day, right tackle, left tackle, stuff like that. And it was a situation where I go in, he's like, you're going to do everything. Like, that's what got you here. I need you to do that in camp. And I'm like, okay, all right, let's rock. I get the playbook install and all that stuff. And I'm like, I didn't know what a mic point was. I didn't know it was middle three and stuff like that. Like ECU was first linebacker call side. Next thing you know, like, I'm having the ID fronts and the mic points and all this stuff like that. And I was letting another thing people don't talk about is like, and I'd love to hear your take on this too as a quarterback. Like you got 8 different snap counts. And it ain't no like, why he said hut snap it? Like you better be anticipating that before he says hut, like getting it out. So I had a day or two where I was literally just focusing on cadence. Right? We had, all kinds of different on ones, on two, second color calls. I don't want to give away too much stuff because I know they still run a lot of the same stuff. But like, we had calls where he'd list certain colors and it was only on this one certain color you'd snap it, and alpha blue go, all kinds of stuff like that. And I was like, this is a whole different realm. And I'm walking in every day is like, all right, what position I'm playing. And looking back now, OG knew what he was doing, and he would tell you what you were playing. Like, all right, that's the end of the meeting. Oh, by the way, this is the lineup for the day. And you're like, okay, I was studying all my plays yesterday as being on the right tackle. Now I'm at left guard or center. And it was truly one of those situations where, and it's kind of been what's kept me playing professional football was like I played everywhere across the line. Like there, I did center, guard, tackle, all of it. When I was with the Giants after my first spring league, we played New England in the first preseason game. And I'm playing the second quarter at right tackle, third quarter at left guard, fourth quarter drive to go win the game at center, and we ended up getting in field goal range. Graham Gano kicks a game-winning field goal, and like I played all 3 of those in one game. So that's kind of been what helped me stay in the league and play professional football this long, was being versatile and doing so many different things. But boy, my head was spinning that first training camp, trying to learn all those different plays like wham, trap, all that type of stuff. I'm like, I've never even ran this before. I don't even know what this means. And then figuring all that and being the center, like having to tell guys what to do. Luckily, I had some 8 or 9 year vets at guard that were like trying to like helping me out a little bit and stuff like that. So it was cool, man. But it's a huge adjustment, that's for sure.
Dude, you talk about the snap count. I've had freaking nightmares of rookie minicamp because in college at ECU, once you left, we moved to the clap after my freshman year. So like, all I would say is ready and then clap. So like, I hadn't used a cadence in forever. And Seattle drafted a center and then signed me undrafted. So like, we had an undrafted center, two rookies going with the threes together, and like we're trying to learn it together. And I remember the first night before minicamp, he has everyone together and we're in like an auditorium type thing. And he's like, all right, Holton, go up there and go on one. And the cadence for me, college cadence is ready, clap. And then like for this one, it's like said hut, white 80, white 80 said hut, which is what it is now. Mm-hmm. But at the time I thought it was like 40 words. Like, I'm like, dude, what do I even say? Like, how do I say it? I go up there and I'm like, scream said hut, the whole offense jumps because like I'm thinking like, all right, I need to be loud on my whole cadence. But like now after playing for a while, it's just like I said hut, then it's like white 80, like you go kind of from there. But yeah, that that was my story with the cadence, dude. I know the freaking feeling.
Dude, what was this? I got a question for you too, man. What was, give an example of like a play call in college versus a play call in the NFL? Because that's one thing. Like, I still have friends that are like, I tell them a play call and they're like, what? Now, we also have a lot of spots I've been, we've had like NASCAR terms that mean, it means a play, but like, trips right off, 14 duo, blah, blah, and it's like, they're like, huh? So I'm interested to see like how you went through that.
Yeah, I'll say with a story too. I was actually telling Luis this today at practice because we had a run check. So in college, like we would go up tempo. So we really didn't huddle that much, but we would call like our run checks like instead of saying, or I'll give you an example. So we would like hop combo would be like Horner power. So I'd be like hop combo, and we get on the line and like I would say Horner power based off the 9 tech or 7 tech. But then I remember all preseason we would, for practice heading up to our first game, we would have like a simple one would be like deuce right 17 or Z short to deuce right 17 wash alert 16 stub, which is pretty much weak side run versus G bubble. You know what it is. Yeah. To run strong. So, and the criteria was run to the G bubble or away from the safety. So if the safety's down, yeah. So all preseason practice, I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, so if the G bubble's there, then I run it there. And if not, I run it away. And usually that means the safety would be away. So I'd be good. It would meet criteria perfectly. So I get the opposite of it. For the people who don't know, the opposite of a G bubble is a 3 tech. So if I had a 3 tech to my left, then I would check it to the right because the safety would be rolling away, be a perfect play.
But then so you have all camp technique to the left and a walk down safety, and you're like, wait, what do I do now?
Dude. Yes, literally. So my first preseason snap, I will never forget it. So all camp, it worked out perfectly. The G bubble and the criteria worked out perfectly. I get in for the preseason. I think it was the Vikings was our first preseason game. And I have that play, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is easy. I hadn't played under center much in college either. So I'm like, all right, like everything's kind of new for me.
Dude, that's another aspect that people don't understand either. Like, oh, you're just under center. Well, as a quarterback that's been in the gun or a pistol, like being under center and taking those steps, like that's a whole different thing in itself.
Dude, yes. So my first snap, so it's Z short to deuce right, or Z short to double right, deuce right. It's kind of the same thing. Z short to double right, 17 wash alert, 16 stubs. So I'm like, all right, let's get it on turbo. So I get in the line of scrimmage. I'm like, all right, there's your 3 tech. So I got to check away. So that means the safety is going to be rolled down because I'm supposed to run away from the safety. So I have the 3 tech, and I look over there, and the safety's down, and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do now? I don't know which one to do now because it's 2 negatives, and I'm like, oh gosh. So I stick with the strong side run, which I thought that's what I was supposed to do. So I'm like, 180, why he's hut, we're good. Or no, alert. So I change it to 16 stub. Turbo set hut, ball hits my thing, I fumble, and I'm like, no. So my first snap in preseason, the worst look possible, and then I fumble the ball, and I remember getting it honestly helped me breathe though. I picked it up, just fell on it, and Shane Waldron, our OC, got on the mic and he said, "Well, that was a great start," and it just kind of like he just kind of laughed about it, and it made me laugh. And I played really well after that. But dude, that was my preseason story because I know exactly the like play call and under center, like everything's happened. My very first play, worst case scenario, and after that, I was, you know what? If I get cut after this game, I might as well go out and sling it. So that's what we did.
100% the biggest thing. Like anytime I tell anybody that's coming out or a rookie or anything like that, it's like because I remember my whole freshman year. You talk about like the anxiety that comes playing in the NFL and stuff like that. Like what people don't understand about the NFL is like you can get cut and it not even be your fault. It could be, injuries on the defensive side of the ball. It could be so many different scenarios. And I've told people this too. It's like, they're like, oh, playing in the NFL is going to be so cool. I'm like, it's my dream job. Like truly made my dreams come true. But that first year, like I'm walking around puckered up because I'm looking over my shoulder. You see the Grim Reaper walking around all the time. You're like, is he coming for me? Is he coming for me? Is he coming for me? Oh, thank God. Okay. And then, like, another aspect people don't understand, I try to use this analogy is like, let's say you're working for Truist Bank and, you're a banker, blah, blah. And there's a banker at SunTrust, and for some reason he gets fired. But the boss at Truist thinks he's a better banker than you are. He'll fire you and sign that guy from SunTrust. Like, that's truly what happens. Like a guy can get cut from somewhere else and they have him rated higher than the guys that are in the room right now. Boom, bring him in. It's just, and you didn't do anything wrong, whatever. It's just, that's just how it goes sometimes, And, dude, it's truly, to circle back, what I was originally saying was like, anytime somebody's coming out, I think I told this to you too, was like, be you. Because at the end of the day, like, you worrying about getting cut isn't going to stop you from getting cut. So let's go. And you don't play your best when you're looking over your shoulder, worrying about what's going to happen next. Am I going to get cut? You play your best when you're playing free and you're playing fast and you're playing confident. And I'm a testament to that because I didn't do that in the Colts. Didn't get signed. I do that with the Bills, get signed. Next thing you know, I blink. 6 years later, I'm still playing professional football. So
100%.
Anytime you go into a situation, go in there. And I think a lot of GMs and personnel guys and, position coaches, like, they see that. They see if you're like timid or scared or shy and you're not like confident, believe in yourself. Like, my dad used to always tell me, and I got it, tatted on me. It says "bet on me" over here on my arm. And you can't expect people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. So like, you go in, you play full tilt, you play fast, you play confident. And even if you are, as a quarterback, you're not 100% on, the read or the play or getting the play call in. As an offensive lineman, I'm not sure if that's right mic point or whatever, but I've also been taught if we're all wrong together, we're right together. So if I make a mic point and I go full tilt and I block the dude full tilt and do all that stuff, I guarantee you my coach is going to coach me on, hey, this is the correct mic point. You did well, but hey, this is what we need to do. If you go out there, make the wrong mic point, and you go, half-ass and don't block the dude, now it's a double negative. It's like, I can't do nothing with that. At least if you made the wrong thing and you can articulate why you made that point, and then you go out there and hit somebody in the chin, they can respect that and work with that and be like, all right, I see where you're coming from, but this is what we need. And then you can go from there. So that's like the biggest piece of advice I could give to anybody, trying to play in the professional level or even playing college level. Like, the biggest thing people need to understand is like, your coach's resume is you. So they're not going to put somebody on the field that's a reflection of their resume if they're not confident in that player to do what they're coached. So like, if you go out there and show, hey, I know what I'm doing and I'm confident in what I'm doing, then they're going to be confident and be like, okay, I can go put that product on the field because it's going to make me look good. It's going to make the team successful, this, that, and the third. So no matter what stage of the game you're playing at, if you are confident in what you're doing and you hold yourself to that standard, being like, yeah, I'm, there's a fine line between cocky and humble and all that stuff, but like, you got to have some type of arrogance of being like, yeah, I'm that dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here, I'm going to go play. Let's go do this.
Oh, 100%. Dude, you got to give them. Yeah, I mean, they got to look at you and think and make them think that you think you're the best one on the field. And like that was something that I learned very on in Seattle. I'm glad I did, because like that right now, that was the only professional NFL chance I had. I was like, I'm going to go out there. And like I said, the fumble literally helped me with that. Like, literally fumbling my first play after that, I was like, dude, it was almost like a F it moment. And you just go out there and ball. Dude, I told you it would only be like 20 minutes or so. I don't know where we're at in time. We've been kind of shooting it for a while now, so I'm going to let you go. We need to get you back on. I had a bunch of ECU questions. We're gonna get you back on, hopefully, maybe this summer once we get, out of the UFL and get settled down. We'll get you back on and dive into some ECU stories.
Yeah, man, let's do it. This was great. I knew this is exactly what was going to happen. We're just going to go back and forth like in the locker room for sure, man. But yeah, man, thank you for having me on. Would love to get back on again and talk some ECU stuff and all that type of deal.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, G. I'll see you, dude.
Of course.
Yes, sir. The interview is brought to you by Anson Belt. Go to ansonbelt.com for over 10,000 combinations of micro-adjustable holeless belts. Look, it's wedding season. I'll be wearing mine to weddings. I'll post some pictures, tag Anson. Look, a pirate company, a North Carolina company, support local pirates supporting pirates. ansonbelt.com. Go check them out. You're not going to wear another belt once you put one of these on, so go check them out. Also want to take a second to talk about Worth Chiropractic's deal where they got going on right now at the new location. Worth Chiropractic and his team are offering a new special new patient special only at the new location, which is 2100 West Arlington Boulevard. Come see them at their fantastic facility. A visit to their new facility gets you a free consult, complete exam, digital x-rays, and more for only $29. I'll say the address again. It's 2100 West Arlington Boulevard. Go check them out or call them at 1-800-BACK-DOC. So go check it out. It's only $29. Go check it out. It's a great location. New building over there. So go check it out. Only $29. Shout out to those guys for supporting the show. Drew, it's only me and you this week. I kind of, took lead in the Garrett interview, but let's talk some ball now. We're going to start off with ECU. Obviously, the big news of the weekend, heading into regional play. East Carolina baseball gets a 16 overall seed. There was questions if they would host or if they not. They do host, but as the lowest seed in the tournament, lowest host seed. So the teams visiting, Drew, are Wake Forest, Evansville, and VCU. And something I was looking at, and I was kind of shocked. ECU disrespected a little bit. They are not the favorite to win. Wake Forest is the favorite at -125. ECU second favorite at +170. Evansville then +1,000, and VCU +1,200. So, Drew, how are we feeling about going into regionals week? Are you betting any? Or you're not allowed to because you're still playing. But
right.
If you were a bet man, who are you taking going out of this regional? Obviously, Wake Forest has a great year last year, makes the College World Series. I think they're the number 1 overall national seed. They have a stud pitcher coming in. Their head coach said he's better than Paul Skeens, a kid from LSU last year, now pitches for the Pirates. How are we feeling, Drew, going into regional play?
Well, if I was setting the odds, I kind of understand why you wouldn't make ECU the favorite. Like, you watch ECU in the last maybe 20 days. It definitely didn't show what team we really are. So I kind of understand that, but I would still take ECU. I mean, you're the home team, and if anybody that's been to an ECU baseball game, that's a home field advantage. And so that's a team that I would take, and I think they're going to come out of the region.
I hope so, dude. So here's my wish. I wouldn't mind if we win it on Sunday night, but the Renegades play in DC on Sunday. So it's Sunday at 12 o'clock. So if we can get to game 3 to win it on Monday night, I would love that. So I could make it back. That would be great. I haven't made many games this year because obviously I'm playing in the spring league. So I'm hoping we do. But shout out to the boys. If we do make it and we win this regional, obviously we would play, since we are the lowest hosting seed, we would play the number 1 Tennessee Vols, which have been a national powerhouse a couple years. Talking about a fun environment. Obviously, ECU is going to be electric this weekend. Already sold out. Hoping some people we can get some calls. Drew, are you going to the game? Do you have tickets to the game? It's probably very hard to get right now.
Yeah, they sold out so quick, man. I wish, but I was just
Dude, but talking about another cool environment. If we go to Supers, and if us and Tennessee wins at Tennessee and Old Rocky Top would be electric. I think I would try to make that. And then, boys, if we win, Drew, I know you'll be in. If we win that, I know you'll probably be in college football by then, starting up camp. But I'm gonna have to make it to Omaha. You got to make it to Omaha.
You got to.
Do we? So you're gonna take ECU to win the regional. Do you feel like this is the year that we break down the door and make it to Omaha, or how are you feeling about that?
I was feeling good about it all year. I still believe it's possible. We've shown that we're a great team all year, but the way we finished the year really puts a question mark on what we can do. We've dominated all year. We dominated against great opponents, in-state opponents, but for some reason at the end of the year we really slowed down. So hopefully this regional we can show what we're capable of and go back to what we do.
Yeah, I think it's the case of we got the team just like we have the last 10 years since Cliff Godwin's pretty much been here. We have a team that can make it. Just is this the year that things fall our way? Look, I mean, we were close. You were 90 feet away versus Texas Tech a couple years ago in Lubbock. And then, we've had our opportunities since. But I think just things have to fall our way. I think people have to stay healthy. You got to, win games when you're supposed to win them and save pitching. And then, your pitchers that go win games are supposed to win games need to go win them. So would it surprise me? No. Do I think it's this year? I hope so. I think it's just, as an ECU fan, man, as an ECU baseball fan, going into every year, We seems like every year we're hosting a regional and we're in the super regionals, hopefully again this year. It's bound to happen soon, so it wouldn't surprise me for sure. I sure hope so, like I said, so the boys can make it to Omaha. But we'll see. We'll see how it lays out. And
it would have helped to not be the 16 seed because going into Tennessee is not going to be an easy task.
It's going to be tough. Yeah, it's going to be tough, dude. And that is, those last 20 days, like you said, are tough, but maybe underdog story. We've kind of been like the top G5 school for a while, but now we're taking kind of the little underdog. Maybe they take that mentality and run with it. Anything for motivation. I'm not that you're going to need a lot, in Clark LeClaire this weekend, but take it as you get it. You're the lowest, host regional. Go prove that you're better than that, and go prove that the last 20 days were a fluke, and go out there and dominate and see where you end up. So wouldn't surprise me. I sure hope so. And we'll obviously be cheering for the boys. Good luck to them this weekend. Yes, and if you're there, if you're going to Clark LeClaire, man, make some noise, have some beers, have some fun, and cheer on a regional victory, and go to Knoxville weekend from now. So shout out to that. Drew, NBA Finals. It's looking the Mavs. We're filming this on Thursday, so not fully set yet. The Celtics, it looks like it's going to be Celtics versus Mavs. How are you feeling about that? You're an NBA guy. Me and you both are in this pod. So how are you feeling about it?
Well, it does look that way, but I wouldn't necessarily count the Timberwolves out yet. I know I took the Timberwolves in 6, mainly because I thought Karl Anthony Towns was going to be a great player in that series. He actually has shot terrible. But in the game that they most recently won, I think yesterday, he went 9 for 13 with 25 points, but he shot 4 for 5 from 3. I don't think that's sustainable for 3 straight games from now on. And then I think they're going back to Dallas this game, or
yep.
It might be.
No. This is Game 6 is in Timberwolves. My bad.
Well, this is Game 5
or Game 5. Yeah. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Wait. Nah, this might be in Minnesota, but Game 5 might be in Minnesota because they're the higher seed. But either way, it took a great shooting performance, like an uncharacteristically good shooting performance to win by 5. And Kyrie shot terrible. I just don't think you can rely on Kyrie to keep playing that bad. But Derek Lively's supposed to come back too. But if he misses again, I think maybe the Timberwolves can steal again. But once he comes back, he's just so good in pick and roll, defense, rebounding. Like he's a difference maker coming off the bench.
What I've been impressed with is Dallas, and what people I think didn't take into account heading into even the NBA playoffs is Dallas probably has the best 2 closers in basketball right now, and Luka and Kyrie on the same team. Oh, yeah. And that is why they're winning the series right now. Every single game has been close, but Kyrie or Luka have both finished it out down the stretch, and that's where having 2 legit all-world closers in basketball, that makes a difference. And then you got a younger team, and Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, like you said, have shot terrible and haven't really been in this position, whereas Kyrie has, and he's kind of teaching Luka how to be in it. So you're seeing that a little bit. So, I mean, I'm very, very impressed with that. And then the Celtics, I said it, as soon as the Pacers beat the Knicks, no one was going to beat the Celtics. The Pacers beat the Bucks without Giannis and without Dame, and then they beat a crippled Knicks team. Even though I'm a Knicks fan, we were just crippled. Jalen Brunson broke his wrist, Game 7, and then half of our starters are out already before that. So they had a walk to the Eastern Finals, the Pacers did, face a semi-healthy Celtics team. They don't even got Kristaps and still get blown out. So that just kind of showed that they're a few. We already talked about that a little bit. Joe, I want to dive into one more subject, and then we'll kind of close it up. But first, I just want to say shout out to our friends over at Wayne Hardy Law. If you've been injured in a car accident, call 1-800-INJURED. Big Wayne and his team will treat you like family. They'll get you a rental. They'll handle all your law stuff. They'll win the case as well, get you your money, fix your car, get you everything you need to win the case, and they'll treat you like family. Look, if you know anything about the Holton Ahlers Show, we're about family. We're about, we're only going to align with people we agree with, and that is Wayne Hardy Law. So go check them out at 1-800-INJURED. We appreciate them for the support of the pod. And shout out to Mattamuskeet Goose Club. Look, we all know, we all love the Southern hospitality of Eastern North Carolina and the Southern brand and hunting and all of that. Look, if you're in North Carolina, you know someone who hunts and someone who loves that style. That's exactly what Mattamuskeet Goose Club is. So go check out all their socials and their website. They got some sick gear. We wear it on the show all the time. So shout out to those guys as well. Drew, I want to get your opinion. If for people who didn't see, the NCAA is going to have to pay $2.7 billion in settlement funds to former athletes for what they could have made in NIL, but only the Power 5 schools. So they said a big middle finger to the G5 schools. So I'm sitting here in the locker room in the UFL, and the guys are talking about how they're going to get paid for 5 seasons and for this and for this and for this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, what is it? And G5 doesn't get paid. So I'm like, dude, what the heck, bro? So, like, Drew, how does G5 keep getting screwed over?
I mean, that is crazy disrespect. I really didn't know too much about it until you talked about it before the podcast. But I don't even understand why that is happening. Like, NIL was not a thing when you were a player. So, like, I mean, yeah, like, it's somewhat unfair, but it's really not. Like, that wasn't the rules at that time. These rules were just now put in place. So, like, if you weren't playing at that time, like, why are you getting paid for things that weren't even rules at that time? Like, that's
I think it's more the NCAA is having to pay for. The NCAA was making money off of athletes' name when the athletes didn't really give them permission to. So it's more of that. I just said NIL. That was my fault there. But I mean, I think G5 is always going to find a way to get screwed. It's not even going to be G5 here soon. It's not even going to be Power 5 neither. It's about to be Power 3, Power 2, and then just whoever's in the rest is just left for scraps. But leave it to the NCAA to screw someone, and they always have and always will. That's why they have to pay this. But they still found a way to screw someone in the G5 school. So shout out to not the NCAA for always doing that. But Drew, yeah, dude. Me and you have been thugging it out. I think the last 2 episodes, just us. So hopefully we get the boys on here soon. You know, Jack's getting settled down in Denver or in Colorado, right outside of Denver. And then Caden's been super busy with work. But last episode in this house, I am moving back, obviously, to Greenville. So hopefully we'll be in the studio next week, if not the week after. And my schedule for June is all over the place. Then July kind of slows down. So we'll be in the studio soon, or at least me and Caden will be. And Drew, you and Jack will be remote for a little bit. But
yeah,
appreciate you for doing it, dude. And we'll do it next time.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining.